Hey, Flames fans, welcome to another edition of Flames Unfiltered, hosted by myself, Burud, and Kyle Lewis. Kyle, the season for the Flames is done. Do you feel relieved, sad, happy, or don't really care?
All of the above.
Kind of there too.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks because it's like, you're used to having something to watch. I mean, now we have the playoffs, which is great, but like with your team, obviously it's different. So, but I think I would go overall with maybe relieved.
Yeah. The thing is, the thing is, for a season that the hopes weren't really high, I would think everybody would agree with that. I think all in all, when it's all said and done, I think as Flames fans, the chips kind of fell where we wanted them to, and I don't know. I think it's a huge win of a season in a weird kind of way, considering that's the worst record in Flames history. It seems weird, but it's a big win in my book.
I think pretty much in everybody's book, although that's actually a great segue to something I'm going to jump right into. I presume you saw the article in the Calgary Herald.
Yeah, I don't pay a lot.
I don't typically either, but it's interesting that anybody out there sees this as anything other than the right direction at this point. And I can understand in the past where there was a lot of doubt around that, but more recently it's very clear what this team is, the direction they're heading in, what they hope to accomplish, and the strides that these young players have taken. So didn't want to spend a lot of time on that. I just thought it was interesting because it's like, does anybody really think that this is anything other than a success, right?
That's the way. I mean, I think, when you can go into a whole bunch of different things when it comes to that, but like, pre-internet world, everybody just had their own opinions and we were all good with it. Now everybody thinks they're a warrior on the internet and they want to spew their opinions all over the place. And we probably wouldn't even 20 years ago even went back and forth on this. I just think that, not everybody's always going to have the same view on the Flames and the direction. And quite honestly, 24 months ago, I didn't have that view, but as watching and learning and seeing and projecting, I see that we need to make some serious changes for future success. And I think most of the fan base, I'd say 90, am I out of line saying I'd say 99% of the people who are truly Flames fans, feel like the direction we're going right now is good.
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty damn accurate. I mean, it's a hard thing to judge at times because it can be so trying to watch, a team that is so anemic offensively that it's a hard thing to go through. But when you look back as you go through it, I mean, it's evident that it's the right thing to do.
There was some times this season where it was harder than others. I feel like about early December, I kind of developed a new way to watch Flames games.
Like distantly?
No, I just started watching it by viewing the game differently. Like for me this year, the hardest part of this year was not cheering for them to win every night.
Yeah.
As weird as that sounds, but what I cheered for was other wins, like wins like watching Cooley progress, watching Wolf play well in his second year, watching Gridden emerge. Those were the things that I took as like wins. Moving Kadri and maximizing our return on a contract that we would have been pulling our hair out over 2 years from now. Getting a fair return for Anderson and just those things. Like, I feel like all those kind of worked out pretty well this year, right?
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot else there's a few pieces of stuff there that could have sold on, but I mean, overall, it's a tremendous success, and it's sign of things to come. I mean, there's still a little ways to go, but I do think, as I said previously, this team is going to be competitive by the time they get into that new building. I mean, sooner would be fun, but not going to count on that. But yeah, these, the biggest thing, like the last game of the season, see Zane Parekh score like a Cale Makar-esque goal.
Mm-hmm.
Well, basically a Cale Makar goal, but things like that, like, and just saying, like, Gridden was putting up so many points. Even like our Arsenij Sergeev coming up and just having a game of his life, which none of us really wanted because the standings, but still, like, it was good to see.
No, and I wanted to touch on that. Like none of us wanted that, but like none of us with a heart in us didn't sit there and go, I love watching this for another human being.
Yeah, I mean, and realistically, we would have gone from what, like a 9% chance at the first overall pick to like 12 or 13 or something like that.
It was 11-9, I believe, to 9-5. Well, we're currently at 9-5, and it would have been 11-9.
Yeah, like
so 2 points.
Yeah,
2 points. Like I can, like, but you know what? Like, it's not just that game. It's kind of like last year when we missed the playoffs by one. Everybody was just like, well, if that last game, no. It was back in St. Louis. It was back in, me and you can name off certain situations where it was like, in Anaheim last year, we completely threw a point away late in the game. Like, there's situations, it builds through the year, right? So getting that point, and is it Sergeev? It's Sergeev, isn't it?
Sergeev, yeah.
Having that night. Okay. Watching Zane Parekh score that goal. Okay. Like, these are all things that are helping us for the future, though, right?
Yeah, and I think the players, I mean, the exit interviews, and maybe we'll dive into that a bit. I mean, that was kind of the message, and there was some really funny things that came out of that. Bristevich talking about Willie Matta and him having a little bit of a spat, like those growing pains, so to speak, as brief as it was, or however much he underplayed it. Michael Backlund's comments about, what are we paid to do? Like the team is trying to be competitive and working with what they have. And I think seeing all these little bright spots, and there's a lot more than I think any of us could have potentially anticipated, for the type of year we expected to have.
Part of what we want as Flames fans was to have the chips fall where they did this year, but still be a hardworking, competitive team. Let's look at Vancouver, for example. Evander Kane scratched his final 2 games, didn't even show up for locker cleanout day. He didn't even show up.
Yeah.
We don't have players in Calgary like Evander Kane. Thank God we don't.
Yeah, and there was somebody had tweeted recently too about how, probably several people did, but there's one comment in particular, I can't remember who said it, but that bad culture of the tail end of the Daryl Sutter tenure, if you want to point to that, or whatever it might be, is completely out of the room now. Like everybody wants to be there. That's there. They brought in some really positive players in terms of Zach Whitecloud and Ryan Strome.
Well,
Willie Matta.
I'm not trying to throw darts at like a guy that's gone, but part of the problem was when Sutter was here is Nazem Kadri playing the poor me. He's not going to put up with my BS.
Yeah,
that was part of the culture that was wrong, and that's why Kadri completely turned the off switch on and was garbage, because he was pouting because the coach was making him work.
Yeah.
We get that really quickly. A lot of darts get thrown at Daryl Sutter. I don't think they should. I think coaches should hold players accountable. And Rick Bowness, we saw it this week.
Yeah.
That stuff needs to happen in this league.
Yep. Yeah, Zach Werenski took exception to that. It went good on him. I mean, I understand it, but
I'm tired of players. Like, this is your job. That's what they keep telling us. This is our job. You got to perform at your job, right?
Well, that's generally
you're expected to, right, Kyle? I'm expected to.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, like, there's certain things that, I don't even have much of an interest in, and that's what made that article I brought up so interesting to me. It's like, I don't care to talk about that stuff a lot because in the past, there are things I agreed with, things I didn't agree with, and that's like anything else in life. But the players that the Flames have now, there seems to be a higher level of accountability, and I think we're seeing a bit of hopefully the end or tail end of that country club mentality we've been talking about, which is a consequence of developing and a consequence of moving pieces out that they just don't fit here anymore. And look how much better Morgan Frost played after Codry was traded, for example.
I know. And I'm not blaming that on Kadri. I mean,
no, me neither. But it's about the opportunity it creates, right? Yeah,
creates the opportunity, and he stepped up. I still think there's a country club mentality in Calgary, but I do also believe that we have some players that will elevate that. And you can have a good environment with accountability. Mm-hmm. I feel like I have that at my workplace. We have a great environment.
That's exactly the That's exactly the line I try to toe.
But they're damn well, there's accountability. And if I got to get mad and I got to get upset, that needs to happen once in a while to realign. That doesn't mean I'm a drill sergeant. That means that I expect this. Here's my expectations. And now here's where we need to be accountable. And everything will be roses then, right?
Yep.
And it'll be great. And that's what it needs to be in Calgary. And I was probably pretty harsh on the country club thing. I think you maybe were to an extent too. And I still believe that it may still be that way. I want this team to have fun because we all should have fun at our jobs, but they do need to be accountable, right? And I think we're on the right track. I really, really think we're on the right track.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about that. I guess the interesting stuff, I mean, obviously the big thing is the draft, but also in the summer, the decisions that are made concerning free agency in terms of who they might bring in as supplemental pieces. I think we can all agree a guy like Victor Olofsson's probably gone. He doesn't really fit.
Well, we can take a look at a lot of the things. I have a list of the UFAs and I'll read them off and let's quickly roll through. Olofsson, sure. I think he's gone. Lomberg, I think is gone. Kirkland, I think is gone. Bishop is gone. Bean's gone. Miramonov is gone. Cicek, that's a tough one. Prosvetov, I don't know. We probably will re-sign him for an AHL deal.
Yeah, if he wants to stay.
Agree or disagree with any of them?
The only one I see coming back, just because of the locker room thing and blah blah blah, is Lomberg. I'd be surprised if he left. I'm not saying I want him back, and I wouldn't be opposed, as we often said, if he's used correctly. But
I'm going to tell you something, Kyle. You're going to think I'm crazy. I'm 90% sure he's not coming back.
Where's he going?
I don't care.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, seriously, he didn't play. What did he play? One of the last 5 or 6 games?
Yeah, something like that. But that's also a consequence if they want to, get other players reps, right?
So why do we not want to get them reps next year?
Oh, we do. I just don't know what the team's thinking, right?
I think he's gone.
And you kind of wonder if that comes down to a conversation between Conroy and Huska, and they might say, "Listen, I'm willing to make him an offer, but you have to use him accordingly. Like this guy can't play every night, right?"
Yeah.
So, yeah. But yeah, I mean, everybody else is gone. I feel bad. Like, Jake Bean as a Calgary guy, like I had some slightly higher hopes for him.
Did
no, he did that one like ankle breaker play with the puck. That was it. Miramonov, I mean, again, former Moncton Wildcat, had high hopes for him, and he scored a highlight reel goal in the AHL. But I mean, I'm convinced he's going back to Russia, and plus he doesn't fit here anymore, unfortunately. Oh. I really, really should have sold high on that game wearing jersey of his, but
you should have.
I fucked that up tremendously. But anyway,
let's roll through RFAs really quickly. I'll read them off, and you tell me what you think. Beecher.
Oh, I don't see any point bringing him back.
Rory Cairns.
Qualifying offer, keep him. Yep.
Othman.
Yeah, possible reclamation project. I'd hang on to him.
Stromgren.
Same thing. He finally got, he earned a call up sooner than he got it, and keep him around.
Morton.
Oh, that's a tough one. Those there's something like him, Carter King, like a lot of those kids, like.
Oh, we'll do him with it. Morton and King.
They might end up being like your next Clark Bishop type, right? Like a really good AHLer. I don't see those guys translating to the big league, but
we got Bell and Siona. I don't know that those are even worth talking about.
No, I would move on from those guys because the reality is you have a bunch of new players coming in next year too, right?
Greshnikov.
It's funny for a guy that was really kind of highly touted in that trade. Same kind of thing. He could be a veteran AHLD for you.
Yeah. He might be a safety net too if you have a lot of injuries. He's a guy that could come in and, a Dryden Hunt type defenseman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Owen Say.
I'd keep him for sure. I like what I saw from him. Yep.
I agree with 99% of what you said there. I'd stay with Owen Say. Greshnikov I'd take. Morton, I would re-sign him for an AHL deal. Stromgren AHL. Othman AHL. Cairns, I'm neither here nor there. I don't believe he's an NHL player. And John Beecher, I'd just move on. I don't have room right now for him. And all those are the ones I just named off are RFAs. So there's a lot more to it than just a UFA that can walk. So
we'll have to listen back to this when the time comes and see how right or wrong we were about all these guys, right?
Yeah, we'll probably be 50-50.
Yeah, something like that. And there's always guys you don't think of that get picked up, or I don't know. It'll be interesting anyway.
What did you think of Huska's comments and in the locker cleanout as we kind of roll around on this show to a bunch of different topics? But he he mentioned a couple things, and one thing he mentioned that I was happy to hear come out of his mouth was that they need to be a faster team next year. They need to play faster, and I couldn't agree more. And then this also brings us to our X factor this week. And that comes from
yeah, Lil Stampy.
Yeah. Let me pull it up on my computer where I can read it here. As I just cruise around my computer trying to find it. Holy crap. Whoever is the coach next year needs to unlock more of this creativity. And, and we did see that with Zane Perek late in the year. And we saw, not even with Zane Perek, we saw with a lot of other players where we looked like a more offensively creative team. And that kind of goes back to the speed thing too, I think. That's a team we need to move towards. And it's tough because, our talent level's not at the level of like the Colorado Avalanche that can play with that easily. But I did see signs of it, and it felt good this year, considering when I looked at Huska in December and how against youth he was, to the creativity and some of the youth we saw come March and April, sure makes me feel a lot better for the future.
Well, again, proof's in the pudding, right? So, I mean, I'd like to believe that he's kind of turned a corner with this group as he had to, as they, move people out and brought people up. So yeah, I was happy to hear him say it too, but I actually want to see it. And actually one stat I meant to look up and I totally forgot, but this has got to be like a record for like the lowest like leading points getter on a team. Like,
that's a good point.
Well, I remember Sandis Ozilic had like 52 in Florida. This is like that. What was our leading score? Like 48 points or 45 or something ridiculous?
Solid question. Let's look. Stats. Let me push my stream deck and get that pulled up right away. 45 points, Matthew Coronado.
Yeah, exactly. 45. That is absolutely abysmal. Even on a terrible team, that is like wow.
Our leading goal guy was 20, Blake Coleman. No, excuse me, Morgan Frost, 22. Jeez, why is my thing not sorting the right way? Yeah, Morgan Frost, 22 goals, 21 assists, 43 points. I'll take that out of here. I don't mind. I didn't mind Frost this year. I struggled with him early in the year. Shoot, I think I was frustrated with him up until trade deadline, and then from there on, he's been the Morgan Frost we wanted, right?
He was excellent. Absolutely excellent. But yeah, like that to me, like it points to a lot of different things. Now, granted, a full season of that Gridden, of that Perek, I think you've got two, like Perek's 40 plus points, easy. Gridden's 60 plus, I would say, especially, if you do PPG over a full season. So a lot of that's going to be better just as a matter of course, right?
And there's some guys that didn't put up a ton of points that, boy, you couldn't be happier with Brustevich and what he progressed. And Kuznetsov, he gets forgotten. I think he's a forgotten flame all the time. Looks like a 5-year veteran out there, and
that's the other thing too. Like, what about like Huberdeau? Because Huska said he was in pain for quite a long time. Well, what does that mean? How long was he hurting? If he comes back here pain free, can he put up 60 points?
That's just it. Like, I think there's a lot of things, moving forward that are good. And, think about this. Think about this one, Kyle. Coming out of training camp, we were like going absolutely crazy about our goaltending in Devin Cooley. And he fires off a .909 save percentage this year, wins 10 games for us, up for the Masterton Trophy nomination for the Flames. Played 31 games this year. That's pretty good. Pretty good for him.
Yeah. Played
in 31 games. His record was 10-10.
Yeah, there was a lot of good surprise. Just the problem is, as we talked about at the outset of this episode, like it does wear on you after a while because you know where this team can eventually get, but the getting there is really painful. And I mean, we've had a couple of good playoff runs not too long ago. It's not like we're the Buffalo Sabres, who I know you and I will both be watching tonight and
Can't wait.
just experience that crowd, right? If
Yeah.
nothing else. So it's not like we can sit here and complain a lot, and we all complain about years and years of irrelevancy or mediocrity or whatever you want to call it. But I think to that end, it's just a matter of the season's in the books. It was very telling. It's a huge step in the right direction, and how the summer gets navigated. The draft, it's gonna be one of the most exciting drafts in Flames history. I don't know how we can have a better draft than what we had last year, but there's obviously potential for that to be the case, and it's gonna be exciting.
The next couple of weeks, just leading up to the draft lottery, which was scheduled for the 4th, they changed it yesterday to May 5th, which is a Tuesday.
I'm still in Quebec City no matter what. So
yeah, it's still. But we'll talk about it after the show. I'd like to touch base and at least we'll do a little remote show that night.
Yeah.
I love anticipation. I think, like when you book a vacation and you're excited to go and you get this anticipation. I'm excited for this night. The Flames go into it holding a 9.5% chance overall of getting that. That's
hey, I saw our simulator yesterday. Had the Flames,
they win it yesterday. So, on Friday I decided, hey, the season's over. Let's do a simulator every single day on Flames Unfiltered. We'll put it on social media and see where we can land, right?
Yeah.
So the first day I did it, the Canucks won it. Yesterday the Flames did it, and let's do it live on the show here. Well, and then I'll post it here later today. But as I pull that up, another thing to think of too is, when people were worried about the 4th pick or the 4th chances and it being 9.5, here's what it's been the last 5 years. And I think the Flames and pray the Flames can break some of this tradition. In 2021, the 4th rank stayed at 4. 2022, it fell to 5. 23 and 24, it stayed at 4. 20 and then in 25, it bumped to 6th. So we're due to have it win, right?
Yeah.
We're due. So let's run the lottery. Let's run the lottery and see where it lands today. It lands with the Chicago Blackhawks move up 1 and win it. Vancouver 2nd, the Rangers 3rd, and we stay in 4th.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at today. So 3 days, 3 different teams have won that, though. So think about that. And if you look at past history, and I love bringing up history that I love, the Vancouver Canucks have a horrible history of drafts lottery success. Horrible.
Yeah, never mind player development. Oof.
How about management?
Oh, God. Yeah, man.
So
yeah.
We're going to talk about more of this in the coming weeks, but as we prepare for the draft. But just quickly, I just want to touch on this and then we'll move on again. But we're sitting at, let's say we end up at 4th or wherever we end up. Do you draft the best possible player, or do you draft for position?
I'm always a believer in drafting the best possible player, but I really don't want to get another high-end defenseman. I would, at the very least, so if you draft that player, it gives you the opportunity to maybe move him or somebody else for something that you do need, right? Not that that's easy, but what are your thoughts on that? Do you go position, need?
And I'm really back and forth on this one. I know we need that center, but it's going to be hard. If we go first overall, how do you not take the winger and McKenna or Stenberg? If we're sitting in that 4th spot and you're deciding between a Keaton Verhoff, I don't know, maybe you go and you go on. There's one thing that I always look at too. I look at family history and families, and I'm really leaning a lot towards a Malhotra. Caleb Malhotra is a center. He's a big guy. He's 6'2", 200. He's a good big 200-foot center, can put the puck in the net. His dad played in the National Hockey League. I don't know.
Just a fan of his game overall?
So far, what I'm seeing, I'm liking.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about this a lot in upcoming shows. I don't know, man. I like what I see.
It's gonna be interesting to say the least. Actually, looking at draft rankings today, I got to point this out because I mentioned him on the show before. But Tommy Blyle, New York kid, rookie season among the Wildcats, breaks the Quebec League record for rookie defenseman points. He went from a projected 3rd round pick to 17th in North American rankings.
Wow.
And Moncton is 8-0 in the playoffs. They've been waiting 4 days already for their next opponent, who they don't play until this coming Friday. Like, guys like that just all of a sudden have a monster year.
Well, and you never know. He might fit into that second pick that we get from Vegas, correct?
Well, and that's kind of it. I mean, again, another defenseman, but it's hard to describe because realistically for us, we've never had cupboards stocked this much.
Oh, I know, but they're not all going to work.
No, but I mean, but because they all have the pedigree of being a highly regarded prospect, they're an asset that gets moved somehow. What concerns me? So step one for Conroy, getting rid of bad money, aging vets, getting a good return, right?
Yep.
Step two, drafting good players, developing good players. I'm making this up on the fly, by the way. Step three is the management of those assets once you have so many. So what you choose to trade, sign, keep, how they pan out, that's the piece we haven't talked about much yet because we haven't really got there, but we're getting there, right?
Yeah. No, I agree. It's going to be that's what's going to be so fun about this is to see if we draft a defenseman with that 4th or whatever, 2nd, 3rd, whatever pick we get, I'm not going to be mad because I just think it's all a step in the right thing. I do think we were in dire need of offensive threats. I think we maybe have a few on the way in the system. But man, it would be nice to see where a Gavin McKenna would sit on the wing, right?
Oh man, wouldn't that be fun? And you got to think too, like a player like that, it's that old adage of making the players around him better. What would a guy like Gavin McKenna do for a player like Morgan Frost, who's already fast and skilled, right?
Yeah, so I can handle Frost centering Gruden and McKenna.
Yeah, for sure.
But we still need a center. So somebody send us a center too.
Yeah, well, that'll get worked out, I think, in time. It's just one of those things, right? The other thing about the Eggs interview is one I mentioned before I forget, and I just thought of this because I look at the calendar and it's Joel Farabee. He talked about how cool it was to wear a letter.
Yeah.
Would you put a letter on him to start next season?
Yeah.
Because who else is going to wear them anyway? And he takes it very seriously.
Oh, you're going to have Backlund, him,
White Cloud, and Coleman.
Yeah, I don't know how long Coleman will be here.
But to start the season, that's your leadership group.
For sure. Well,
I think.
Huberdeau.
Huberdeau too, yeah. I mean.
No,
Yeah. Did you see all the, by the way, here's my shameless plug for Hockey Heroes before I forget that too, but I just saw this because of, random flames.
We can talk about that because you're up to $2,000 on a goal of 5,000 and things are cooking in the right direction.
2020, 2000.
Oh, it went up since yesterday then.
2040 when I applied the money I just got from a buddy of mine that just left, my good friend Nick, who's been a friend of mine for 20 plus years.
And I will be posting that on social media today. During the playoffs, Flames fans, you're going to see it come up on Flames Unfiltered, and you'll be able to click on it and donate. And it's for a great cause, and it's not just to get money for Kyle. It's for the heart.
None of it's mine. Yeah,
so it is a great cause and a hell of a fun week for Kyle.
Yeah, so last year we did 1.2 million as a group. It was freaking great. So this year for X Flames, we got Curtis Glencross, Brendan Morrison, who was just added, Chris Dingman of the Theo Fleury trade fame, Darren McCarty again from last year, Brian Skridlin, who was also there last year, and Gary Lehman.
Cool.
Very, very cool. So, and there's still a few names to be added. I mentioned David Backus was a big one that was coming. Mark Recchi. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Donations are greatly appreciated. No amount is too small. And as usual, there'll be a massive photo dump from
Yes.
video as well.
We will be promoting it because not just we want Kyle to have a fun time, but like we said, it's a great cause. And
But here's a fun fact, by the way. So last year we had the Dallas Stars alternate jerseys. They were
ugly.
Yeah,
you liked them. I hated them.
I loved it. It looked like shit with all my Flames gear because my gear is literally from the Flames organization, like everything that I wear. This year we're wearing the Vegas Golden Knights white jerseys.
Oof.
So it might even look even worse with my red stuff. I found my black gloves. I might have to buy black pants and a helmet.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anytime you can help out in your community or with these causes, that's wonderful, and we encourage that.
Absolutely.
Me and you, I know you don't think a whole hell of a lot about it, and I don't either, but I wanted to touch on it, and that's the World Championships and what Flames players will represent. It sounds like Cooley is going to go for the U.S., Pospisil for Slovakia.
Yep.
That's all that's been announced to my knowledge. A couple other ones I could see is Wolf to the U.S., Mata to Finland, Klapka to Czechia.
Backlund to Sweden.
Backlund to Sweden, maybe. Frost and Perek possibly to Canada. And, you don't know. Maybe Farabee to the U.S. too.
Maybe even Coronado.
Maybe.
He was much better down the stretch.
God, I just want that guy to be – I want him to succeed so bad.
I know.
Before I forget, back to exit interviews. Since that's the whole topic of today's show is exit interviews. But, what there was some stuff made about what Zari said about coaching having to realize that the youth and letting them make mistakes and stuff. And I know some people on X are making a to-do about that. And am I an ass for saying this? All I thought was, you know what? Maybe you, Connor, you should just worry about yourself.
It didn't really bother me. I'm actually wearing my Connor Zary t-shirt, incidentally. Yeah, it didn't really bother me.
I didn't take much out of it either. This was the first year. There wasn't a hell of a lot of news in the exit interviews. Like the injuries we knew. Like Hanzik was out for the year, so we knew. Huberto was out for the year. Like we knew Whitecloud's face was bunged up. It wasn't like we were like, oh my God, Anderson's been playing with a broken foot down the like we didn't have any of those this year,
Yeah, the only big one was Huberto when he took himself out, right? Yeah. And the whole point was, as he said, was to be ready for next season, which I think is great because in my imagining of the Flames depth chart, I forget him all the time because it's a big injury. Yeah. I actually talked to my physiotherapist about that because I have a bit of a hip issue myself, which is muscular, thankfully, as opposed to structural. But we were talking about that, and he said, yeah, it's a big deal. And if it means, again, he comes back being a 60-point player, that's great. But just put back quickly to the Zary stuff. Like, he was a victim at times, also the player has to own it. He didn't play well a lot, but I really felt he got the Sam Bennett treatment quite a bit from Ryan Huska, and maybe it's because he opens his mouth, and I'm still not going to sit here and tell you that I think Zari's going to pan out. Much like Trevor said, he's probably going to pan out somewhere else, but he can be a factor on this team, and I think him pointing that out is a little bit brazen, maybe unnecessary, sure, but he's really just saying the same thing that Huska's already agreed to. And if everybody's pulling their rope in the same direction, saying we got to elevate these players, then
it's like a lot of things you see on X. People make more out of things than they really are, and I think this is part of that. But part of, I don't know. I'm old school, that. Part of my thought process going into an exit interview, if you're Connor Zary, is he's got to know kind of where he stands right now. He's got to know that he's struggling, and I know some of the cards didn't get dealt his way this year, but he still had opportunity.
He did,
and you take that, and even if you're on the fourth line, you can't look that slow. You can't, So, what I want from him this year is to just literally zip it and bust your ass to get back to the Connor Zary we saw pre-injury, because I like that player, man. I do. I like that player. I think Connor Zary is a good guy, and I think he's a good Flame. So let's get it there. Let's get there.
Yeah, he's got like you mentioned, he's got a big summer ahead. He's very, to use the phrase X factor, he's very much an X factor in how competitive and how quickly this team is going to be competitive. If he can become a 50-point center that's reliable, drastically changes the fortunes of this team, right?
But how much longer? How much of a leash does this guy have? Because to me, he doesn't have a long leash.
No, he doesn't.
I better see one hell of a training camp.
Well, I mean, one hell of a start to the season, right?
Well, and I hate to say this, but if I'm Craig Conroy and someone is looking and we're dealing and we're making moves, he's on my list of guys I'm moving.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Right. Next year, final year of the Saddle Dome. It's going to be happy and sad.
Yep.
I was flipping through YouTube yesterday or the day before, and there was a video on there about worst stadium experiences in hockey. And it was on the Saddle Dome. And they go to all the arenas, right? And these guys, two young guys, they were in the Saddle Dome, and the title was worst experiences in stadium experiences in hockey. And everything they said they loved about the Saddle Dome. They loved that it was made for hockey. And I've been to the Saddle Dome quite a few times, not as many obviously as I'd like. And many of our listeners are there for 41 games a year. There's going to be as much as excitement as I am to walk the first time into the new Scotia Place or whatever we're calling it.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be sad not having the Saddle Dome anymore too.
Oh, absolutely. I have so many. I think I told you I keep a spreadsheet of all the games I've attended, so I could actually check it to see how many times I've been in that building. But I mean, it's a lot. I've often said it's my home away from home. I remember in 2009 when they announced my attendance because it was my first game. It's a long story as to how that came about, but it's still a great venue to watch a hockey game. There's not a bad seat in the building. Ton of history, but it's that mix of, like you said, it's just sad and it's exciting all in one. And preemptively, our plan is to meet up at that building for game one when it happens. It's going to be a hot ticket, obviously, but yeah, it's it has to happen. The city needs it. The team definitely needs it. The fan base deserves it. And you remember how much BS there was around the possibility of moving the team and the back and forth and it was just horrendous. And it's coming along really well. I mean, I watched the update videos. I've been on the construction site. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's fun. It looks like it's going to be state of the art, and that's what we deserve, right?
Absolutely, yeah, 100%. And it's hard to believe it's the last season in the Saddle Dome.
It is.
And you know what? I mean, crazier things have happened. This team could be more competitive than we think with a good summer, with guys like Zari maybe stepping up. We've got the goaltending. Prek could have a big year. I think they're going to do everything they can to make the last year in the Saddle Dome a fun one.
Oh, and as long as we keep progressing in the right direction, I think Flames fans will think it's fun. Stanley Cup playoffs. Let's quick roll through our predictions and get on our way to watch Stanley Cup playoffs as we record on a Sunday morning or afternoon, I guess. Predictions for the first round. Kyle and I always do this. Our predictions usually suck. Some of ours worse than others, right, Kyle?
Yes.
Kyle hard with predictions in the West. A couple series that I'm super excited about, both in the West and the East. But Colorado, Los Angeles, that kicks off today. I've got Colorado in 5. Kyle has Colorado in 5 also.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas and Minnesota, which kicked off last night. I look like an idiot. I have Dallas in 7. Kyle has Minnesota in 7. I think this is going to be a good series, but Minnesota was flat out amazing on Saturday night or Saturday afternoon.
Oh, they whooped him. And also, somebody pointed out that Jake Ottinger has not been the same since losing that first round series to the Flames in 22.
I put on X today. Remember, there was a sequence in that right before, I believe it was right before overtime, where Ottinger was at the bench and there was some Flames fans just like giving him the old hex in front of the thing. I put it on X today, and ever since then, Ottinger hasn't been the same. But yeah, that'll be interesting to watch. Vegas, Utah kicks off tonight late.
Yeah.
No, it's not tonight, is it?
I think so. I know Edmonton Anaheim starts tomorrow.
Okay, that's tonight then. That's tonight. Late tonight, Vegas, Utah kicks off. I've got Vegas in 6 in this one.
I think I have Utah in 7.
You had Utah in 7.
I don't know why. I just feel like there's Vegas is the roster's aging, and I just feel like they get caught by surprise, right?
In goaltending, right? There's a lot of unknowns there. But you know what? There was a lot of coin flips this year for me in this. Like there really, really was. The final series in the West kicks off, you said Monday night, Edmonton, Anaheim. Both of us, we agree on something here, Kyle. We both got Edmonton in 6.
Anaheim is, they're just Edmonton is still strong enough, and Anaheim is, it's their first playoff berth in a while.
Yep.
That could go 7, but I think Edmonton's going to kind of cakewalk that a bit, and then I think they're going to hit a bit of a wall in round 2.
And onto the East, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia. That started also last night. Both of us agree on that one. We both had Pittsburgh in 6. That doesn't look so hot since Philadelphia won game 1, but still a long ways to go. Ottawa, Carolina. I love this series. I love this game yesterday.
I thought of you when it started with that fight. I'm like, yeah, he's going to enjoy this.
Gave me goosebumps. Just set the tone, right? Like this is going to be a gutsy series. I've got Ottawa in 7. You got Ottawa in 7. We're agreeing more than we usually do. Tampa Bay, Montreal, that kicks off later today. Can't wait to watch this one. This is one. I'm not saying that I want this result. I don't want Tampa to win, but I do think Tampa will win it in 5. That's my lowest one. And you've got Montreal in 7.
Yeah, and the same kind of thing I said about Vegas. Like Tampa's such a deep, experienced team, but Montreal is so fast that the biggest challenge for Montreal is going to be Tampa's physicality. Montreal's not going to have the space they had during the regular season. Goaltending obviously is a question mark. I presume they're going to go with Dobish, and I was a little skeptical of him because he seemed a little mentally fragile at times, but I just see an upset here. I really do. I wish it was starting in Montreal because even in the regular season, that building's untouchable with the playoffs.
Hey, but that might be a blessing, though, Kyle. It might be a blessing.
Well, if they take 1 in Tampa, like if they win tonight.
That's what I mean. Is that you don't have that. A lot of times, look at yesterday. The road team won every game yesterday, didn't they? Minnesota won their road team.
Ottawa lost.
That wasn't in Ottawa, was it?
You said the road team won. You said the road team won every game.
Oh, yeah. Jeez. Yeah, that's the only one, though.
Did you drink as much as I did last night?
Oh, I didn't drink. I don't drink hard beer anymore. I feel like it some days, though. One more series, and that's Boston Buffalo. I think that's one we both have on our bulletin board is the series we want to watch. Kyle, I'm not the best at like predictions and betting, so I'm using a little reverse psychology on this one. I went and said Boston in 6 because I'm wrong a lot, and if I'm wrong, that means Buffalo wins, and that's what I want. You've got Buffalo in 6.
Yeah.
I'm cheering for this team.
It's going to be fun. Did you already mention Pittsburgh and Philly?
Yeah. We had Pittsburgh in 6. And I said we're screwed because Philly won.
Yes, that's right. Sorry, I blanked out there for a second. So what I want to point out about that, it's a long story. The really cool thing about that whole series is the emergence of the whole season of Dan Vladar. He wanted it.
Cheer for him. He's awesome. That? I love cheering for him. That save he made in the final seconds yesterday.
Yeah, well, he left because he wanted an opportunity, and he deserved it. And so far, he's proven the Flyers right. I mean, I think that's a fantastic story. It was never going to happen in Calgary. Like he was never going to, supplant Dustin Wolf. But, I think it's great. A really, really cool story there. Although I'll admit, I want to see, Crosby have another deep run. He's a local guy. He's from 2 hours from here, and one of the greatest players of all time. What
did you think of the Crosby Sandheim slash fest yesterday?
I would have preferred a Kachuk Stahl type. I don't want to see Crosby fight necessarily, but I mean the slashing, like shove each other, like quit using your sticks,
Yeah, it was good games yesterday. Real good.
I guess I say that Mark Giordano cross-checked me last year and I slashed him. So who the hell am I to talk?
What are you doing
at a charity game?
Do you remember when he tore his bicep?
Yeah, because Steve Bernier, who used to play for the Moncton Wildcats, is the one that tore his fucking bicep.
Oh, I just remember that day. I'm just like, oh, there goes the season.
I still think to this day, and I was at 2 games of that series against Anaheim, if Giordano had played that series, it would have gone 6 or 7. Oh. That's how much of a difference maker he was then. And it cannot be debated that he would have won the Norris Trophy that season too.
I'm with you.
14-15, he should have won it had he not got hurt. Because now I got to look it up. Oh, it's going to drive me nuts. And then, of course, the 18-19 Norris Trophy.
I love that guy's career.
Oh, man. He's such a great guy, too.
Got a picture hanging on the wall next to me. Next to me.
I have his framed jersey that I have a picture with him.
Yeah, we posted that.
Yes. 14-15. 48 points in 61 games was a plus 13.
Wow.
in his Norris season. He had 74 points, was plus 39. My God. Oh, unreal.
Some good Flames and memories, and hopefully many more to go. It's time to get out of here to watch some Stanley Cup playoff hockey later today. Next week, special episode will come out of Flames Unfiltered. Following week will be the draft lottery episode, and then we'll have a special episode after that one. Also, a lot of fun. You're going to get your Flames talk all off season. We'll be here every single week talking Flames hockey. A lot of regular episodes and a lot of special episodes throughout the off season. Flames fans, enjoy the Stanley Cup playoffs as much as Kyle and I do, because I know we do. And enjoy your late nights up watching hockey. Have a good week, Flames fans. We're back next week.
All right, take care, guys.
Bringing hell on the tracks and tearing through the pouring rain. When your soul goes to fall, you can feel the fire. Then total destruction is our only desire. On the head, they better run away. Locked and loaded, we're ready to kill, kind of ready.
Thanks for listening to Flames Unfiltered with Brad Burud and Kyle Lewis, your source for unfiltered Calgary Flames hockey talk. Keep it locked on flamesunfiltered.ca. Subscribe where you get all your podcasts to never miss an episode. Flames hockey talk every week, presented by Inside Edge Hockey Media Group.